Okay, as I mentioned before, this is the Georgetown McDonough Flex MBA Online information session, and I'm glad that you can join. Let's get started. So again, introducing myself for those who just joined us, I am Briyon Ransome. I'm the Senior Assistant Director for the Flex MBA Online program within the MBA Admissions Department here at McDonough. Why Georgetown McDonough? Our mission is to develop principal leaders with a global mindset, to be in service to business and society. We support this mission by preparing our students to be global ready. The students at McDonough represent 39 countries, and 84% of the most recent class of MBA students have lived, worked, or studied abroad. The classroom conversation will be global by virtue of who is in it. One of the first classes that you will take will be the structure of global industries, which will set the stage for the rest of your program. In this particular course, you'll be working in a small group to set up your own multinational business with global supply chain and posed with timely crises that you'll have to flexibly navigate. Next, going into our global business experience. All students will consult with an international client in another country over the course of 6 to 8 weeks, with the final week in country. In reference to our global treks, you'll also have the opportunity to travel internationally over each fall or spring break on student-led treks, whether it means you're volunteering in Bogota, climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, or meeting prospective employers in London. We are global at home in Washington, D.C. by the nature of being in a global city. This naturally translates into our second pillar, which is our location in Washington, D.C., which a lot of you are familiar with or have visited before. You'll have access to speakers who come to campus. Presidents from Washington to Obama have addressed Georgetown students. You'll have access to employers, access to alumni, and our alumni, while spread all over the globe, have a very strong tie to the campus and regularly come to Georgetown to recruit, lead talks and discussions, as well as share their insights in the classroom. This also leads to our last, but obviously not least pillar, which is principal leadership. This is tied to our Jesuit background, dating back to 1789, the same year the Constitution was signed. In fact, Georgetown is the oldest Jesuit university in the US, founded with strong values, men and women in service to business and society. You will see this commitment to social impact and service woven throughout your MBA experience. From the alumni that continue to support our students through an ethos of Hoyas helping Hoyas, to holistic support from our career services to ensure that recruitment is tailored and personalized to the individual experience. This Jesuit tradition also focuses on teaching, hiring good teachers, and not just researchers. A lot of the faculty have an open door policy and regularly are available to be of support through all aspects of the program. Why an MBA? Usually, applicants typically fall into 3 categories: career enhancer, career switcher, meaning functional industry, or aspiring entrepreneur. And this entrepreneurship doesn't mean necessarily that you want to start your own company directly after graduation, but you may work for a startup, an angel investor, or venture capitalist that works in innovation for a company. There are all great reasons to go for your MBA. It's a degree that can take you far within many industries and job functions. And on the screen here, as you can see with the Y in MBA, you can see 36% get a raise or a salary increase within our program. 36% manage people, 34% obtain senior leadership, 34% switch companies, and then 33% manage projects. All right, moving along, our return on investment. Georgetown McDonough's ROI over the last few years, there have been a few significant increases in some of our statistics. Rankings in 2019 and 2021, the Bloomberg Business Week ranked our full-time program #1 for the best trained graduates. In 2022, Financial Times ranked our full-time MBA at 19. US News ranked our Flex MBA at 17. And you'll hear more about our employment stats later. But of our 2019 full-time MBA grads, 95% of the graduates received an offer within 3 months, and 92% of them have accepted, on average compensation around $160K. All right. And those are like a few things that we're really, really proud of. So we're going to go into learn more about the Flex MBA Online program and how we can provide you with that strong ROI. All right, going into our curriculum. Georgetown McDonough believes in synchronous learning, where you can engage with your professors and peers in live course sessions, incorporating a mix of synchronous and asynchronous courses content that is best suited to the various classes and course topics to maximize your learning. Some courses will be half synchronous and half asynchronous, allowing both flexibility and a rich learning experience. Here on the screen, you'll see same curriculum and degree, more flexibility. This is a cohort-based program, convenience of virtual classes, the same rigorous core adapted to pretty much the online format. 2-week-long residencies in Washington, D.C. At the Georgetown campus, and the signature 1-week global business experience residency as well. More information about the curriculum. The MBA curriculum is composed of 31.5 credits of required core courses and 22.5 credits of electives, including intensive learning experiences. Your semesters will include 12 weeks of class plus midterm and final exam periods. Half semesters or modules include 6 weeks of class plus a final exam period. Starting in year 2, students will have the ability to choose from a limited number of online electives, and students will have access to join full-time and Flex MBA students in on-campus electives on a space available basis. And then on the screen just goes more in depth with the online courses. So the FXO, which is short for Flex MBA Online, evening live synchronous classes, with the exception of the in-person residencies, will be held Monday and Wednesday, likely to be 8 to 9:20 p.m. Eastern time. And just think about that. That's going to be the end of the course. So the beginning of that course is going to be asynchronous, while the 8 to 9:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time will be live synchronous. As mentioned before, some courses are a mix of synchronous and asynchronous. You do have flexible course delivery starting in year 2. As mentioned before, there will be a limited number of online electives as well. And then with being in person, due to space availability, you can definitely have those options as well. We do have an adjustable timeline, complete your degree in the least at 26 months. However, that's only mainly if you do transfer some credits in, or you kind of cram your courses, meaning that you probably do about 3 courses in the semester. However, the minimum of time to actually complete the online MBA will be about 3 years. And then you have to 5 years to actually complete the full program. And you can transfer up to 12 credit hours of non-degree graduate coursework. And then this is also let me go back. Sorry about that, guys. So this is showing just how it can plan out in your year 1, showing your fall semester, starting out with the course that I mentioned earlier, the structure of global industries, and then it goes into your first residency. And then in your first year, it's pretty much going to be required core courses. So your electives do start in your second year. All right, going into some residency information. So speaking of the 2 residencies, you're going to have 2 weeks in DC, completed at the start of your first and second year of the program. And this allows you to network and collaborate within the Georgetown community. The Flex MBA Online students are required to attend both of the residencies and the Global Business Experience residency. Also, you'll get to choose to come to campus. Also, we'll have access to an optional week-long in-person intensive learning experience as well. Your first residency, you're getting to know Hariri. That is where we are located. in our building. Build connections within your cohort. You'll have team building and service opportunities. At the end of a term event, all incoming students. So you'll be in the mix of all the MBA programs, full-time and flex in person. Your second residency, take advantage of DC, expand your network, and engage with the Flex MBA on campus community, and you'll have social activities and service opportunities as well. And then your third one, which is my favorite residency, the Global Travel and Consulting Project, which is the GBE stands for the Global Business Experience, and in-country exploration and experiences. All right, and then I'm going to some information about opening term. And this is something that you will see after you apply and you're accepted into the program. The opening term is coursework that you'll begin with the course that I did speak about with the structure of global industries. It's a rigorous, fast-paced 3-week course. Once this is complete, your fall semester will begin. Opening term will start on Monday, July 31st through August 18th. The first 2 weeks of this class, July 31st through August 13th, you will attend a live online synchronous sessions on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings. These 2 weeks will also include substantial asynchronous course content and teamwork. So please plan to be available on evenings and weekends to complete this work. In the third week, August 14th through the 18th, you'll be in person on campus for your first program residency. This will consist of full days and evenings with class sessions, team meetings, and faculty coaching. At the end of the week, you will take a final exam and present your team project. And then your specific class schedule will be provided in mid-July, and the program office will register you for these classes. And then you'll be good to start your fall semester, which will be Wednesday, August 23rd. More about the FXO community. This is a governing board of elected students that represent the interests and initiatives of the online student body. They strive to continuously improve the McDonough School of Business community, enhance the overall experience for its students, and maximize the value of McDonough School of Business brand. Student organizations. Start building connections and networking with your class members before fall. If you ask many students one word that describes Georgetown, they'll say community. Getting involved in a student organization is also a great way to network with companies. So think of them more as professional associations. There are more than 40 student-run organizations at the McDonough School of Business that span cultural, service, recreational, student government, and interest-based communities. Our student clubs enhance and integrate your academic, social, and professional lives and attest to our culture of community. You can access a few of the student organization webinars as well. So after you apply and you're accepted, you do have some student organization webinars that are available to you. So here we do have co-curricular opportunities, student government association. So FXO representative on the Student Government Association. There will be 2 FXO cohort reps elected, liaison between students and faculty or administration, community engagement representative as well. Student organizations. You'll have the opportunity to join select student organizations. Virtual attendance options encouraged and increasingly common. Actively reviewing membership options to accommodate FXO. Okay, so I am going into, so we're about to view a demonstration of Canvas, and this is the platform that you will use to actually complete your courses. More of the asynchronous option, but this is what you'll be using to complete the courses throughout your program. And in the video with the demonstration, you're going to see Shelly Heinrich, our Associate Dean of MBA Admissions, and our Senior Associate Dean, Sudipta Dasmapatra, and this is how you would complete your coursework. So let me go ahead and play this for you guys.
Well, thank you. That concludes and wraps up the faculty panel. So thank you all for joining us. I know you've been on this journey with us and are so excited to help us, launch this program next August. So thanks for providing your perspective on what the classroom life would be like. And so I'll bid a farewell to Pietra and Kirsten and Lee, but Sudita, I'm going to have you hang on for just a minute because you're going to give us a little bit of a demonstration about what the online student experience might look like. And when I say might, we're going to show you a little bit about what our current business analytics online platform looks like on the back end, but know that that is the same platform that we are using as we build the program right now. As we build out the platform, put all the bells and whistles on it now, that is the same program, very similar, that we will be having next August. So Sudipta, I'm going to turn it over to you for screen sharing and to give us a little bit of a demonstration of what life may be like on the asynchronous platform.
Absolutely. So, we all heard from the wonderful faculty here that they bring in multiple years of experience. And so we at Georgetown and McDonough, we have developed online programs, the MSF program and the MSBA program already. And we provide an engaging platform to the students through the online courses. And so, as Shelly mentioned here, generally, we have a combination of asynchronous content and synchronous session, or the live session with the faculty and peers. And so I'll give you a demonstration of the online component of the MSBA program, which is just focused on the asynchronous materials. Okay, so the goal of this demo is to just showcase what student experience is going to be like and how they engage with the asynchronous content here with this this example that I'm going to show you. So let me share my screen here. Can you all see my screen okay? All right, great. So I'm going to move into a student view. So as a student, you would log on to Canvas, and on in Canvas you would be able to see your courses that you are basically taking. So this is one of the courses that I teach in the MSBA program, and these are all the asynchronous content within this particular course. So when you log on, you would see a bunch of different tabs to your left, and then generally each of the courses are organized and have a very consistent look and feel to them, so that you start to get used to where I can find things mostly. So we start with announcements, and then you would see, there's the homepage that talks about the course in particular, and then would have some of the key links that the students are looking for every time you are, going into office hours, or if you have a live session, then all the links are provided here, and follow that with, a detailed syllabus that you would see. One of the things you would notice here is it's very clear as to when the assignments or things are due within the course. So you would see next office hours this week, slides for week 6 posted. All of these things are right here. That includes assignments and announcements. And then you would also see the assignment breakdown. And coming down, one of the things that I wanted to show you in the syllabus is that the things that you have to do before let's say before an asynchronous session that we were just talking about, right? That what is this experience going to be like? You would have to get ready for the synchronous session. So what do you do before session? What do you do after session? So all that really provides a very, very detailed look on exactly what the students are supposed to do. And then you would see here at the end there's a course summary that provides students information on when all of the assignments are due, what type of assignments are there in the program, and so on. And so moving forward, everything is organized around the modules here. As you would see, these provide information to the students about getting started, your different types of resources that are available to them, their study teams, and whatnot. And then, each of the weeks each of the content per week are actually organized within the modules. So this is week 1 materials, and I'll basically kind of walk you a little bit through this. So as you would see here, we have live sessions, and this tells you about when each of the live sessions are, for example, this particular class has Tuesday evenings. Moving back to, and actually what you would do as a student is actually go to next, right? And as you hit next, you would actually go to the next page, which kind of talks about the course overview. And again, here, the faculty would, the instructor is going to provide you more information on what this particular course is going to bring forward for the students. And similarly, you may go in and you may see guest speaker introduction. So this particular course basically has some guest speakers that came in and that were interviewed, and that is indicated here. Some of the other things you would see in terms of interactivity is student Q&A board. This is where the students can actually send out their questions to their peers, to the faculty, and then they can discuss with each other. And so this is one of the ways in which they can do that. You would also notice there are resources here for the students, so different types of tutorials, other kinds of things, and you would see when they are due, week 1, week 2, minutes, so it's very, very detailed. And so when we are teaching online, what Dr. Lee Pinkovitz was telling us is that it made the faculty think about what would make this experience better for the students. And so we are very detailed when we actually teach courses and put in the asynchronous materials there. Some of the other things that you would experience as a student, that our students experience as in the asynchronous materials is, before this week's live session, after this week's live session, what you need to do. And then this is a video of our guest speaker. So we're talking to the guest, a Q&A with the guest speaker, and he talks about what their views are, for example. Similarly, you would go in and here's another guest speaker for this particular class. Then we would have the project description, which the students can read. Here are the synchronous materials and all the recordings. And then you might have a video, which is taught by the instructor. And so, so in this particular video, for example, I'm thinking about sample versus population, right? And so, so this basically kind of provides you with some understanding of some kind of the asynchronous content. But there are other kinds of content as well. For example, you went through that video, and then there's a comprehension check. Here in this particular comprehension check, you have to answer the question. The students would have to answer the question. This is ungraded, but this really helps with the learning. And so the students can go in and check whether they understood the material or not. So that's really kind of a great way to check student understanding here. And so it allows you to interact with the material. So for example, here's another one where we're trying to check your understanding. So you can go in and take a look at what does this represent, right? So when we have topics which are a little bit more complicated, you might see that we provide a couple of different ways of interacting with the materials, as you can see here. What else? Let's see. There could be other types of interactivity that you would see in the in the courses, such as this one, where we don't have a video, but we basically kind of talk about different types of variables, for example, in this particular case, by using the by just providing you with that information, just like reading a book online, right? So as you can see, there are a variety of different types of materials that you would find, that can help with the interactivity of the students. There are lots of comprehension checks, as you would see here. Here in this case, for example, in sampling techniques, there's here, the students would basically read this, and then they would select the tabs and look at the advantages and disadvantages. Again, lots of interactivity that you would see with different ways. In terms of, let's see, in terms of other types of things, there's a poll right here that the students could take, and it talks about no time limit, right? And the students can take this particular survey if they would like. There are other types of, let's see, other types of assignments. For example, here's an assignment. And so the students would go in here at the end of this week, and this is a graded quiz, and they can start taking the quiz. And so again, this is an online quiz, it is timed. we were just kind of talking about that, right? What type of assessments can you have or evaluations can you have? So in this case, this is a graded quiz, and there's a due date, then this is timed, and it basically talks to you about the percentage. And so, here's what Lee was talking about. We can, we basically provide the application-based questions. And so it really enhances learning much more than if I were to give you an exam and say, tell me what is a median, or write the formula for a variance, or find the variance in this particular example. So this is it really has helped us engage with the students better and improve learning. And so I am going to stop there, and
Okay, I hope that Canvas demonstration was helpful just to kind of get an idea of how it will be to actually, complete the course in the asynchronous format.
Well, thank you. That concludes and wraps up the faculty panel.
All right, moving along to speak about our MBA Career Center. With the McDonough MBA Career Center, you'll have many opportunities for you to establish your personalized career plan. You will interact with alumni and key players in business and discover your targeted functions, industry, and companies. Here, as you can see on the screen, I have FXO Career Plan, and it just kind of walks you through what you'll have to do like by year, actually. So starting, you'll have like your summer webinar series, and this consists of 3 webinars detailing the creation of 3 deliverables that serve as the beginning of your career marketing portfolio. Then you have your career deliverables review, designated a set of deliverables that will prepare you for the important stages in the job search. Your job search course. The topics covered include job search communication, networking, interviewing, and understanding all the resources at your disposal via the MBA Career Center. Career coaching. This will begin your career coaching following their first job search course module in January of their first year. Regular coaching appointments are available throughout the remainder of your program. Evening appointment hours are available as well. Your career advancement course. We provide career advancement workshops to help students understand their strengths, identify strategic opportunities, develop emotional intelligence, and enhance their executive presence. And ongoing workshops and curriculum. Workshops and programs include mock interview days, career fair prep boot camp, offer negotiations workshops, and etc. So this is a career development timeline. So it shows you year 1, as we just saw, like the summer webinar series. Then you'll have your job search course, your first one, and then personal branding and networking, coaching access, mid-program job change support, career advancement, career clubs, and 1 McDonough programming. And this kind of goes on to year 2 and year 3. There will be a little difference in each year. Excuse me, going into year 2, you do have your job search course 2, which would be strategic communication and interviewing. And then your job search course 3 with recruitment strategy. Going into MBA industry open house, and your coaching access will include mid-program, job change support, and career advancement. Moving into career clubs and 1 McDonough program as well. In year 3, you'll have, access to full-time post-MBA recruitment. And this is like kind of like information that's available for all the MBA programs for full-time, Flex, and Flex Online. Coaching access, case preparation, mock interviews, document review, and job search strategy. Employer events and networking, that is super beneficial. Career clubs and the 1 McDonough programming again. And to build upon your learning from the summer webinar series, our team of dedicated certified career coaches are available to help you shape your individual career strategy. The MBA career coaches, peer advisors, and student organizations collaborate to cultivate career opportunities that are industry and function specific. And those advantages of coaching include like specialized feedback from your advisors, I'm just move on to the next slide, and understanding of relevant Georgetown McDonough recruitment resources, an individualized internship and or career search plan. To prepare for coaching, you'll need the following, which is stated before, completing a summer webinar series and submitting your summer career deliverables. And here you'll see your MBA career experience. So as we spoke about, the industry coaches and peer advisors, and these are the 14 industries that they cover: consulting, consumer goods and retail, energy and clean tech, entrepreneurship and venture capital, financial services, government, healthcare, hospitality, international development, manufacturing and transportation, media, entertainment and sports, not-for-profit and social impact, real estate and technology. And just to give you a little insight, like post-MBA function, you can see consulting is at 22%, and these are our kind of new details, and this is from 2022. Finance is at 23%, general management 36%, information technology 1%, marketing, sales 10%, and operations and logistics at 8%. And in telling with the career, with the industry coaching and the peer advisors, they coach you through the job search process, and they also manage the relationships with the alumni and recruiters in their respective industries. Okay, focus on the future, and these are new stats. Outcomes from MBA Flex 22, and we do pull the Flex MBA information because the online MBA is newly launched. We don't have those stats yet, but we will. We do have the incoming class for this fall, so I'm excited to see what that first year brings. So focusing on the future, outcomes of MBA Flex 22, the top employment industries here. Nonprofit education, and this is pre-MBA. So that's at 25%, financial services are at 18%, government 15%, consulting 14%, technology at 6%. Post-MBA, your financial services, employment industry, as far as the top, that's number 1, 20%, consulting 20%, technology is 19%, nonprofit education is at 12%, government is at 9%. Post-MBA positions, 54% within their company, 45% in job title, 49% in function, and 39% in industry. And just looking at that compensation, 50% increase in compensation over a 3-year duration, that's excellent. Our Flex MBA graduates saw an increase in compensation for more than 50%, and the graduates report starting salaries comparable to those reported by full-time MBA graduates. So that's really good. Great. And then here are some of the Flex MBA top employers here, just to name a few: Amazon, Capital One, Deloitte, JP Morgan Chase, you have PwC there, Fannie Mae, Accenture, and those are just a few. Now we're going into the application portion to kind of talk about some components. Starting out, let's talk about the letter of recommendation. So this is a letter that we need from your direct supervisor. And just to give you a little information, say if you just, started at your job, you've only been there for a short amount of time, your direct supervisor, you really haven't built, a relationship as of yet. You guys are still, like, you just started working together. So you do have the option of using a former supervisor in that instance. And with the letter of recommendation, so when you do your application, you would definitely put your recommender's information, and they will be sent what they need to submit your information as far as the letter, or if it's a survey or not, you would definitely input their contact information so they can receive what they need to upload your letter of recommendation to your application. Academic history, this is your transcripts. We need your transcripts that is going to display your conferred date and your cumulative GPA. Any school that you've completed those courses, and we definitely need those. And I would definitely say you don't need an official copy to apply. You can use an unofficial document to apply. If you are accepted, we will need official copies. personal essays, so written and a video essay. So you get to choose from 3 topics to write your essay on. You'll have to submit a 1-minute video essay speaking about a hobby or a passion. And then just know that if you want to go in depth about any of these components, I am sharing my one-on-one chat link at the end of this presentation. So if you have any specific questions, or you can drop them in the Q&A feature, and I can answer those questions for you. The evaluative interview, and this is something that actually takes place. So this is by invitation only. So invitations to interview are extended following each application deadline and will continue up until the decision release date. So if you do receive an invitation, we do want to know more about you. We do want to learn more about you. And then your test scores. So this will include either your GMAT, GRE, or executive assessment. And you can also waive this as well, but we'll discuss that more in just a moment. For work experience, we do require a minimum of 2 years of work experience. Okay, let's talk about the test waiver policy. So it states here that you must meet one of the 2 criteria below to submit an FXO application for test waiver. The first of the criteria will be an undergraduate or graduate GPA of 3.1 or greater in business administration, science, engineering, technology, or math. The second portion of the criteria, so you're going to meet either one. So this one is undergraduate or graduate cumulative GPA of 3.3 plus one of the following: a CPA or CFA, an undergraduate or graduate level quantitative coursework with a minimum of B grade or better, and at least 2 rigorous quantitative classes. Example, finance, accounting, statistics, calculus, advanced math, engineering, or physics. Or 3 or more years of post-undergraduate full-time work experience in a quantitative, mathematical, or analytical field where the majority of your job responsibilities require rigorous quantitative analysis. And these are our deadlines. So we're coming up on round 3, which is March 30th. There will be a decision release. So if you did apply for, I believe it's round 2, you'll have a decision notification date on May 4th. Round 4 application deadline is May 2nd. And then here is contact information for myself. However, I can still drop this in the chat as well, which would be my email, even my scheduling link to schedule a one-on-one with me. And I'll leave that there for a second, and then I'll stop sharing my screen, and then we'll go into answering. I do see we have some questions in the Q&A feature. Let me stop sharing my screen there. Let's see some of these questions here. So yes, so when we actually finish the presentation, we do actually upload it to our YouTube. So you can definitely have access to the recording on our YouTube page, and I could actually share that with you as well. All right, next question. Can you provide a list of the graduate level courses that can be transferred? I'm going to drop the link in the chat for the transfer credit policy. Give me one moment. Here it is. Alrighty. And then it'll give you all the details that you need as far as saying what you can possibly transfer over to see how that option will work. Okay, I did drop the link to the transfer credit policy for anyone who would like to see that information. Okay, next question. Can a Flex MBA Online be completed in conjunction with the in-person MSFS? Are you speaking about the Master of Science in Finance program? No, there are dual degree options that the MBA can be completed with. I will have to confirm if the online portion is included at the moment, but I can definitely share those dual degree options for the MBA, but it wouldn't be a Master of Science in Finance, if that's what you were speaking about. Just to clarify, if you want to drop specifically what that program may be. Yep. So just to clarify, the synchronous versus asynchronous sessions. So most of all of the courses are going to be half and half. The beginning of the course is going to be asynchronous format, where you're going to be, working within the Canvas program and completing your asynchronous work. Whereas though the second half of the course is going to be live synchronous, which will most likely be 8 to 9:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I believe it's going to be Mondays and Wednesdays. Okay, so we have, it says, I'm an international student and I'm interested in MBA at this school. Particularly, I would like to know how much the tuition is, please. Yes, of course. I can definitely drop that link for you to see the tuition, because there is like direct expenses, indirect expenses. For the majority, for the online MBA, I'm sure that it will mainly be the direct expensive. I'm going to drop the link in the chat to check out the tuition. The direct expenses is about $60K, but I do want you to kind of review that for yourself. So I just dropped the link in for the tuition for the program. Yeah. Okay, next question. Okay, hi there. Since many people in the Flex MBA Online program will be working full-time and located across the country, is it the expectation of the school for students to work remotely and or take time off to attend an in-person classes in DC? So to do an in-person course, that's solely up to you. If you happen to be in DC for a specific semester, or there's a certain elective that you want to see if there's space available for in person. However, the only requirement to be in person are your residencies, which is you have the one at the beginning of your first year, and then you have residency 2 at the beginning of your second year, and then you have your GBE, your Global Business Experience residency, which all of those are required in person. All right. Yep, you're welcome, Paula. Okay, for international students, what are the requirements? If you do not have the required TOEFL test, what are the options? Yeah, I can definitely drop some information for the international applicants. Okay, and then it kind of talks about like the tests you will need, if so. Give me one moment. So you can see what is required. And then I'm going to also drop the application components link, because that's helpful. That's including like all of the information when it comes to all testing for international applicants, as far as it's going to have deadline information, like the testing requirements. If you do have to take a test, I know there's the test waiver policy in place. But if you do have to take the test, this tells you what test that you can take, as far as like all of the requirements for the application, like the resume, application fee, and all of those great things. So I'm going to drop that link first, and then the components. And then again, just to remind you guys, I am going to drop my link to actually, schedule a one-on-one chat with me, just in case you have just more of like your like personal questions, and not more of general. Okay. what is the total 26-month cost for admissions and what is the deposit? So the deposit is $2,000 if I'm not mistaken. And as far as the 26-month cost, so I did drop the tuition link there. I can definitely drop it again, but most likely you will probably finish the program in about 3 years. So 26 months will kind of be crunch time, or if you have like transferred credits from another like graduate, so from some graduate courses that you've already taken. But I can definitely drop the tuition again, just so you can see that, because the direct expenses would be like the base amount. So that is the tuition there. Yep, of course, you're welcome, Alvin. Oh, the Master of Science in Foreign Service. Okay, thank you for clarifying that. Give me 1 second. So for the dual degrees, just make sure I can pull this information for you, Emma. Give me 1 second. And I want to drop that link for you. I can go into another question here. Are Flex and Executive MBA curriculum the same? No, it is not the same. I don't know much or anything about the Executive MBA curriculum, but it is a little different. Especially like the class profiles are different. It's just a different MBA overall. One more question. Is there a breakout of postgraduate salaries? We do have salaries available in our newly MBA employer, let's see, report. So our MBA employment report. Give me 1 second. And this is something I'm super proud of. It's still fairly new with updated information, and this is from 2022. And I want everyone to visit this link I'm about to drop. It's our 2022 MBA employment report. It's super helpful. It gives you a lot of information as far as it's showing like 96% receive offers within 3 months of graduation, 95% accepted offers within 3 months of graduation. It's given like the average full-time salary at $138,552. Average signing bonus at $36,342. So it's a lot of information there. It's showing you some graduates coming out of that graduated actually last year. It's showing you the percentage of employment facilitated by school. It's showing top Georgetown MBA employers as well. So it's a lot of information there. All right. Next question. For the residencies, are the classes/events in the evenings? So for the residencies, it is a full week. So it's going to be in person. There's classes, there's events, not just in the evenings, throughout the day. You will have projects, you will have teamwork, team projects together as well. So all of that's within that week. And then Michael, if you kind of want to get a little more deeper into questions about that, like exact times of things, we can definitely try to schedule some time to talk, and I can see if I can gather that information for you. Yep. So Michelle, hi Michelle, I'm glad you joined. So with the employment report, that's where you will actually see the salary, the start salary as well for those individuals coming out of our MBA. So I did drop that link as well. If you need a little bit more information, we can definitely connect and I can grab that for you. So the direct expenses is on the yearly basis. And it's not the total. Okay, is the admissions for the online Flex competitive? Will you cap the cohort at a particular number, like your in-person Flex program, or will the classes be larger because it's an online format? Great question, Michelle. It is pretty much the same as for all of the programs, especially like the Flex. It's a great mirror of the Flex in-person program, just specifically online and brand new. But I would definitely say that the class sizes will probably be the same. I don't think they will make them bigger because they are online. All right, and then I still have to drop this for Emma. So Emma, I'm definitely gonna find this information for you with the dual degree so you can see your options. What do you have? Give me one moment. So the dual degrees that we do have with our MBA is the JD, the MD, the Master of Public Policy, and the Master of Science in Foreign Service. However, as far as it starting with the online MBA right now, I'm not sure in that. I could definitely connect with the programs office to see if the online MBA individuals have that opportunity to do the dual degree program. So I can definitely get back to you and we can connect, Emma, if you'd like to. And I'm going to drop my link to schedule some time to speak. And I did just open up a few slots to on the schedule. So I hope that you guys do utilize the link and schedule some time to speak about the program. Can't wait to connect with some of you, with all of you, whomever may schedule time with me one-on-one, you know, just to get those great questions in, just to go more in depth about the program and like the ins and outs and, you know, planning your time, you know, when if you apply, you're accepted into the program, just, you know, planning your life. I know a lot of the individuals, you know, who wants to complete the online MBA, you know, have full-time jobs, families, you know, have vacations planned for the year and things like that. So just knowing exactly, you know, what the program entails actually when it starts and right before, you know, what's required of you. I definitely want to make sure that you have all the information that you need to move forward with the program. I don't see any more questions, but we do have about 5 minutes left in the presentation. So if you guys have any questions, you can go ahead and drop those in the Q&A. If you do want to connect and not want to ask your question now, I am dropping my email as well in the chat. And you can shoot me an email and I'll be happy to hear from you. Okay, we do have a couple more here. Are the other events for executive MBA program? What do you mean events for the executive MBA? Do you want to know if there are some events for an executive MBA program? I'm not really aware of them, but I can see if I can find a link for you to connect with someone from executive MBA. Give me one moment. So I do see executive MBA events and, you know, they do have some up and coming. They also see something about application tips and things like that. I can drop that for you in the chat. Give me one moment. and that is for the executive MBA events. You're welcome, Mercedes. Nice seeing you here. Yep, I dropped the link for you. You're welcome. You're welcome, Kimberly. We have a couple more minutes. I definitely want to answer any questions that anyone may have. And as stated before, I can drop the link again so we can definitely connect outside of the presentation. My email is there as well. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have in email in the meantime until you schedule a chat or we actually meet. The scheduling link, I did drop it again. Right above that, above the executive MBA events link that I dropped, you will see my email at dr593@georgetown.edu. Okay. You're welcome, Michelle. Hope to speak to you soon. Thank you for joining. Okay, our merit-based scholarships rewarded after a student accepts their admission. Thank you for answering all of these questions. So when you apply, every applicant is considered for scholarships. You'll know if you're a recipient of a scholarship if it's in your acceptance letter. So you'll know if you're receiving a scholarship once you receive the letter from us if you're accepted. Of the top grad programs that I spoke with, this has been one of the most interactive. Thank you for the experience and supporting information. Thank you so much. And I really hope that I'm pronouncing your name right, Azaya. That is a pretty name. I hope I did say it right because my name has been said wrong my whole life, but it is Briyon. But I do hope that I'm pronouncing it right. Thank you so much for joining. And I hope to speak to you soon. Hopefully you can schedule some time to chat with me or email. Okay. Yasmin, okay, you have credits. Yep, please utilize the link that I dropped for, it says oncehub.com, Briyon AOC. Schedule some time and we can talk about those credits that you have completed already, Yasmin. And Isaiah, I'm sorry, Isaiah. Thank you so much. Thank you for correcting me. Yes, of course, Yasmin. Yep, you're welcome. And please reach out to me, shoot me an email or utilize that link to schedule some time to chat, Yasmin. And thank you for joining. You're welcome, Alvin. I appreciate everyone for joining and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to the presentation about the newly launched MBA at Georgetown McDonough. I hope to speak to you guys soon. Stay safe. Bye.